To me, it really feels like if you're wanting to main deck consigns over the snares, it feels like you're just getting a little too cute with it. Snares are so insane. They're just so insane. Okay, on the draw against another. Eldraw's even been very popular today. Let me get the Mox Field up to date too. So I do think I want to surveil turn one so that I can dig for creature. Might get lucky and entomb. I'm kind of surprised to see Island. Probably not that happy. Yeah, it's crazy how the deck looks so much better when there's not Jace Vryn's Prodigy in it. Let's go. So I'm pretty sure I just want to play a frog this turn. This opponent's kind of repping counter magic. They could have K command also. I think just running into it's okay. Let's see what they have this turn. Jaceless Goryos is quite the title, huh? Jaceless Goryos. Yeah, we're gonna play a little bit of a staring contest here. So I think they have K command. Yeah, Island might be better than Swamp to like bluff counter magic and Eldrazi Tron. Okay, so now if they have Kozilek's command plus like counter magic, could be kind of tough. Kind of funny how our standard, our modern testing is like aligned with our other format testing or like just other format LCQs. Like yesterday we played a Glaring Fleshraker at the same time, playing Legacy Fleshraker, and today we're playing Atraxa. Presumably around the same time we'll be playing the standard Atraxa list. Yeah, people might play around Consign too. It's a good point. Yeah, let me go ahead and just join the standard LCQ. But it is leaving up Spell Snare. So that does mean we get to force the Kozilek's command, and then they snare the Goryos, and we can just Goryos again. Oh, interesting. They have Consign? No Consign. Well, I don't know what's going on. Let's take Swamp, Griselbrand, Prismatic Ending, and then we can just go Goryo, or we can go, sorry, Frog, discard Griselbrand, Goryo's Griselbrand, and dig for another Force of Negation. And then hit them down to 3. They might have like a burn spell in their hand. Kind of weird. Okay, so they're at 3, and then we're going to dig for a Force of Negation. We're going to dig for a Force of Negation. We're going to dig for a Force of Negation. I can also Solitude my Atraxa and gain 7 more life here. Don't really see why not. Could use a second Force of Negation. Okay, there we go. Then our frog is going to be larger than the average amphibian, let's say. I bet shortcutting this kind of stuff in paper is feels very good. You're like, yeah, I just discard all these to the frog. What's my hand gonna be? It's gonna be 2 Force of Negations. I think I'll keep this. I'll keep this. Will be my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus Ephemerate plus Goryos. Solitude, Griselbrand 2. We could. I don't think it really matters. I think maybe holding up the Solitude is better. Maybe not. You could. I think you could discard it Goryos and go for lethal. I think. If you think I could have killed them last turn, you are mistaken, my friend. Okay, up a game. Are you wrong? Yeah, you're wrong. Sorry. I used all of my mana last turn to Goryo's Griselbrand. Like, type out how I could have killed them last turn, and I will eat my words, I suppose. But I really believe it was not possible there. Why do they scoop there? They don't scoop there so they can see what I discard, so they can get information about my deck list. It is correct for them to not scoop there. Stony Silence matchup. And then probably no snare and bring in disputes too. They're playing Spell Snare. They're probably a Force of Negation also. Yeah, it's correct for them to not scoop so they can see what my deck list is. Let's submit this, I think. Is Krinko Mob Boss Intruder Alarm dumb to build around? Can haste Krinko with a Arena of Glory but slow? I mean, yeah, very slow. Doesn't win the game immediately, right? I think if you want to build around Intruder Alarm, my cool Intruder Alarm deck was, what's the card called? It's the convoke Sprout Swarm. So you convoke out Sprout Swarm, then you untap all your creatures, then you convoke it again, you untap all your creatures. That deck was really fun. So no hardcast Atraxas, I guess. A Scry draw. Goryo's Flooded. Little late Force of Negation. Well, welcome to the hand. I guess I don't even have a blue card for you, though. Glad to see someone playing the mono blue non-Tron Eldrazi deck. I thought that deck was pretty good. The Graveyard of Labyrinth, 5 cards in their hand. One more Surveil land to grab. What's wrong with taking the back streets after all? Seems like I should graveyard this. It's a kind of reasonable Goryo's target here. Especially drawing this blue card. Would adding Oracle Tragedy to support Flare of Denial be viable for Goryos? I think that's kind of an interesting thought, yeah. I'm not... I have played Flare in Goryos before. Okay, so it could be to counterspell. The second K command's pretty gnarly. Maybe I should have waited, not sure. I guess I could have Goryos'd again in response. Was that correct? Yeah, sorry, that was correct. Do they have third Kozilek's command? There's Consign. We milled our third Hedge Maze earlier. Dude, Kiora is so good. Why do many play Emperor Frockless without Goryos or any bombs? Just Graveyard Hate. Yeah, I mean, it's like okay as just Graveyard Hate. But I do think Emperor of Bones is kind of, in general, a pretty overplayed card, I guess. Solos Jailer is an annoying one to come into because I boarded in Stony Silence as my anti graveyard hate, but they have Jailer. I think I want to play the land here so that I can dispute and hardcast Force of Negation. Good morning. Do you think Kiora will be a modern staple? I think Kiora is really, really good in this deck and in the Shifting Woodland deck. I don't think she's like super good kind of anywhere else necessarily. She's like I think somewhat playable in the Dimir Unearthed decks. I don't think she's correct over Murktide or Oculus, and probably just not correct overall. But she's good. Yeah, like she's playable in the Frog deck, but I just don't think she's like an optimal card to play in that archetype though. Yeah, just give me another Goryos, I guess. $188, please. Yeah, it's like the card selection in this deck. She's ephemeratable. She's good to Goryos, honestly. Like in this game, the fact that like we just drew multiple Goryos and a Kiora and she like filtered her draws was, I think, pretty good. All right, let's get him for 8. I guess maybe I should have cast this first because if I discard Atraxa, maybe I could go for the Goryos. Although I don't know that I would into all this open mana. Yeah, I think into all this open mana, we kind of chill. They might have 3rd K command. Although would they have cast it already? Maybe they would have. But it's also kind of nice, like we have lethal here, so like we just get to make the first move next turn, attack for lethal, and then we can respond to what they do with Goryos. Okay, Goryo's still broken. It's restarting. I'm gonna keep this hand. Also, the 4-color Vial deck you showed yesterday. I think you have me confused with someone else. I don't think I have not. I don't have a 4-color Vial deck. Ooh, juicy. Today is the last day of LCQs, it seems. Some early morning tomorrow. I thought there was some next week, too. If today is the last day, I only get to play this next one. You know it is what it is. Thank you for the... It's up, Darkest Mage. Yeah, I think I'll probably Solitude Ephemerate in response to the Foothills crack if they crack it. Okay. Well, I mean, I can take one, so let's let them make the first move. How have there been like literally like 6 questions about Lantern control today? What's happening? What is this Lantern control psyop? I do not have the lawyer staff or the energy to get into another battle with a deck Discord. I love Lantern control. I know you all love Lantern control. What is happening though? It's like a resurgence. Secretly OP. No comment. Mengu played Lantern? That. It's all coming together. Well, you have 2 lightning bolts. I wonder if they're playing the Leyline in their deck. If they're playing the red Leyline, they're probably not playing Crash Through. I mean, they're gonna hit me for a bunch. Listen, I've cast enough Emergence Gates on the stream. I'm not Not laughing at anybody here. I guess is it better for me to? I guess it's better for me to exile the Lumimancer. It's actually more damage now. Yeah, what a stack, huh? Technically correct to cast the other Ephemerate, so I have one more card in my yard for Psychic Frog. Aren't I laughing at Jace Goryo's players? Yes, y'all are so silly. I think it may have been better to attack versus Ephemerate here. I think there's like a 0% chance that's you want to just leave them with their creature and their like prowess deck. Like we don't. I'm not worried about getting triple lightning bolt. They only have 2 cards in their hand. Their deck is full of cards like Emerged Unscathed and Mugenic Growth. Like their deck just doesn't function if they don't have a creature in play. They're main decking Forked Bolt, which is kind of crazy. Okay, they do have Boros Charm. I don't really know how they have Boros Charm. Okay, I'm wrong. Ooh, there's an Atraxa. I guess I didn't have this land. With 2 fly to stonewall the creature. Well, it's not going to stonewall, though. I feel like they can just make it big. They can make it trampling. Wow, they did. They literally top deck second Boros Charm. That would have been so embarrassing. So lucky, though. Not a good look for their deck, though, that they drew so incredibly well. And they're... I don't know, it was close. All right, Force. Guess I take Lrien Revealed. Yeah, we did just top deck the Force, too. Ugh. Surprisingly close one. I think I'd like to play the Wrath of Skies over Kiora's. Maybe I want to play like only 2 Spell Snares. They probably only are like... They have Boros Charm. They probably have some like Slick Shot Show-Offs at least. Let's play like just 2 Snares. 3 Kiora. Well, I'm going to click the keep button again. My opponent has revealed Giganta again. Cannot believe I drew a white card. So lucky. Besides Burn, there's many competitive decks in Modern. That's true. We did actually 4-1 a Burn League last week. It is kind of interesting. My opponent's build is like all over the place. Oh, for budget, yeah. I think like the Woodlands Omniscience deck probably the best budget friendly. It's still gonna be a few $100. Okay, just taking a little pause after the mage there. Yeah, Mono Blue Belcher. I mean, the thing is like the Seagate restorations are so randomly very expensive. Never gonna get reprinted. It's probably super popular commander. Bird Scale might be decently cheap. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That deck still plays like Sagas and Rings. Yeah, the Eldrazi Breach deck was like $300 or $400. That deck was pretty good. It's not quite Modern Championship good, but it's pretty solid. Is Belcher the same price as top tier deck in Standard? I have no idea. No idea. All right, so goodbye to your creatures. We have a Lightning Helix Machine in play. When Solitude attacks and is not blocked, untap it, or not untap it, remove it from combat, and conjure a copy of Lightning Helix to your hand. Copy that spell and target your opponent. So this basic planes fetch has not worked out very well. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with Note Ulamog, no Emperor of Bones. Stockless of Belcher don't play Force of Negation. Plays 3 packs, I see. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of all the packed of negations either. I think it's like a little too many. I don't love the main deck Commandeer. Being a little bit nitpicky, I guess, but that is also kind of my job. This list is like if the Goryos players agree to just play the good cards. Yeah, that's kind of my vision here. Although, I don't know if they agreed to fetch correctly. Probably worth Force of Negationing. It's worth, the Flashbacker's worth 3 damage. So it's like gaining 4 life here. I think with them having the Lantern, I'm just going to exile the Atraxa. If I draw a land, I'm probably going to play Kiora over Frog too, because it makes them pop the Lantern. Although I suppose if I draw a Lrien Revealed, I kind of have to play the Frog. They don't have mountains. Oh, they have mountains in their deck. I'm assuming. How regular does the meta change in Modern? I'm coming from Yu-Gi-Oh! It changes monthly there. So in the last like few months, the meta has been very stagnant. You're kind of coming into Modern in a time where Boros is like the top deck. The biggest metagame shift is that like Belcher kind of became a really popular deck to prey on Boros. And we're likely going to have a metagame shift in like a few weeks with the ban announcement. But it just kind of depends. Sometimes Modern changes really drastically every set release. Like back in 2019, 2021, every 3 months Wizards broke the format. Oh, sorry, I should have given this flying. Too busy rambling. But like every like 3 months Wizards like totally broke the format. And that, okay, they would have pathed. Are they pathing the Solitude? Dude, they just have every card in their deck. And like Wizards doesn't like just completely break the format all the time like they used to. I think I just cast this actually. Thank you, Sig. Glad you liked the stream. Minimum it shifts every 2 years. Yeah, like lately the metagame shifts have been slower. It just kind of depends. Also, the pod twin multiple bans. Yeah. But just like from like War of the Spark to Kaldheim, literally every single set broke Modern. It was fucking crazy, dude. It was actually a generational run of just destroying the format every couple months. Do you think Frogtide will be in a good spot after the bans? I think probably, yeah. The big I think it might depend on what the bans are. I think it might. Okay, so hit me for 2. It's good that I have the second Prismatic Ending. Not able to get Threshold for my 8/8. I guess it's like way more mana efficient to do this, so let's do this. What was the best standard set for Modern in my opinion? Bloomburrow recently is one that like comes to mind as like a lot of fun stuff. Nothing pretty broken. Duskmourn was also pretty good. You got Flytrap, FOMO. The best one though. I also just kind of loved Bloomburrow in general. Bloomburrow felt like old school Magic to me in a way that I haven't felt in a long time. I remember I liked Lost Caverns of Ixalan a good amount. Maybe Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. That one might be like a good example of like a lot of stuff like was very supplemental in addition to Modern, like Beseiju and Fable, but nothing was like super broken. Yeah, maybe Neon Dynasty. A lot of like very supplemental stuff. Yeah, New Phyrexia is a good pick. I will say, standard set design has been really good for a really long time. I like when like the last time they broke it in standard was Up the Beanstalk. Which honestly feels like a pretty like it's it seems like a kind of an understandable thing to miss that this draft uncommon is really broken in Modern. Especially when it's built in kind of a weird and unique way. Okay, we didn't get a spell, but we got a Griselbrand. Focused with the 2 years. What's back? Ads equals Prime available. Hell yeah. Thank you so much. If you, dear chatters, have your Twitch Prime available, please give it to somebody, if not me. But there just is like a gap in my Magic knowledge because I'm a baby Magic player. I started playing in Return to Ravnica a mere 12 years ago, so I have some catching up to do. Depends on a Multi 5 here. Receivables podcast is great for that. Yeah, it might be good to listen. They haven't gotten to Modern yet. Oh well. Maybe I'll wait. Looking for old cards to break. Yeah, that's ideally the case. You know, of course. It's I don't know that I'm necessarily going to find a diamond in the rough that no other player has found before, but that would be the dream, I guess. But it's just kind of good to study them, so if something comes out, you can play them. They name Eldrazi. Can I talk to Watsy and request Snap and Pioneer? No. I have no channels of communication. Yeah, I have found some cool cards. Mostly like, I guess I could actually take Lrien Revealed because I have a force already. I could just pitch one to the other. I'm trying to think of any like a lot of like just weird old artifacts from Mirrodin Block. That's kind of the main things I found. Eldrazi aggro. Am I gonna Solitude this line breaker? I think I'm gonna take 4. Yeah, what if I drew an Ephemerate? Says this card Spell Snare, Prismatic Ending, I think. Yeah, also looking a lot at like Time Spiral Block. I can't really think of any specific cards off the top of my head. I usually am like whenever it's like late at night and I'm done deck building, I'll just kind of scroll and do some studying. PowerPoint reviews of old set reviews. That would be cool. I do want to do more YouTube stuff. I agree that could be cool. Aeon Hub deck incoming. Okay, I actually one time I like texted Doomwake that I had some tech with Aeon Hub, and it didn't work, but I was really excited about it for like a few seconds at least. I think I just do this main phase so that I can have Threshold. Wow, conceding. Not exactly the most competitive gauntlet so far. I might need to do a second one. Trim 1, Trim 1. Probably actually don't want any of the Prismatic Endings. Yeah, maybe play like 2. Hit some of their graveyard hate. Oh, not Aeon Hub. Sorry, I'm thinking of a Time Sifter. I sent Doom a Time Sifter deck, where the idea was that you would Gingerbread Cabin, or it's not Gingerbread Cabin, Witch's Cottage, your Troll to the top of your library with Time Sifter, and you would win the clash, and you would take an extra turn. But the problem is the you couldn't just keep doing that. It was hard to keep doing that because the Troll went away. What is the Modern Championship? It's a Magic Online tournament series that there's one for each format. I'm qualified for the Modern one. I'm gonna try to qualify for the Standard one later. There are 64 player invites. First place gets a Pro Tour invite and a Magic Online Championship invite. So it's kind of like the RC level of the Magic Online tournament series. I put a lot of work into Eldrazi aggro, and I think it does not work in Modern. I agree. I think you either need to be like a Tron variant, or you need to be playing like the Immercool ramp build, or you need to be playing like Trinisphere Stompy. We did 4-1 with that build the other day. But I agree that I don't think that this really works. I do think I'm going to play it Frog this turn. Kind of close between holding up a second Consign. Time Sifter, Brain Surge Control. Let's fucking go. But I think it was also the Time Sifter was like, it was just like a one of Karn true to target also, which maybe still would have been fine. Not a fan of Breach build. Well, I mean we have the Underworld Breach build, and that one is like not exactly an Eldrazi deck, but I think that one is kind of viable. There's also the Through the Breach builds, which may be underplayed, actually. I don't know. I mean, they did kind of disappear. I would say that I don't even really know why they disappeared, so oh my gosh. Dude, if I can just run this pure playing Goryos in the championship, we are gonna go back to the Pro Tour. Troll with the 19 months. Thank you so much. Welcome back. Yeah, I think I'm choosing Solitude as my creature. No reason to like draw into Ephemerate off the Thought-Knot Seer draw, because if I draw Ephemerate, I'm going to hit the Atraxa. So if I don't find Ephemerate, I'm going to want to play my Hedge Maze tapped. Okay, your turn. Your turn. Could probably Raw Dog Time Sifter with like Lrien Revealed. Yeah, maybe. I mean, the card is also just 5 mana. Thought it was different from the box. It was like it's the same thing. It's just been rebranded. But I qualified with Shifting Woodland Omniscience like 2 months ago. It might have been 3 months ago. Can I get a zoom on the Full Art Swamp? Yes. Yeah, the Bloomborough, like the art, the basic lands, everything just felt like so old school Magic to me about Bloomborough. There's no second creature to breach at the moment that gets the job done. Well, there is. It's Ulamog and Emrakul. I don't think that's the problem. Is it fair to say Fable has been power leveled out of the format? Yeah. The card sucks. Could it come back post December? Probably not. Like it's like a fringe archetype role player. Like you can play it in some woodland decks and you can play it in creativity, but it's like the card is just no longer good in the grindy matchups. I don't think that will really change. Sorry, I'm getting a text I kind of have to answer. My sister's confused about her flight. Okay. I think we lead on Archaeologist here. Try to high roll a little bit. There's a Force of Negation. So with us having Force of Negation, we don't exactly need to play Stony Silence against Ring or Graveyard Hate, because we can just force it now, so we can proactively play an Archaeologist. We find Ephemerate and Griselbrand. Whenever you like just draw 2 cards with Archaeologist, it's like, wow. I spent 2 mana, I got an 0/3, I drew 2 cards. It's like just so insane. Or like I drew it in Tomb and cast it for 0 mana. They play a Sire of the 7 Deaths. It's actually a big problem though. Ooh. Yeah, that is big and vigilant and blocks really well, and I only have 1 Solitude left in my deck. Oh, right. Menace. I do think I just need to soak up as much damage as possible. So I don't have another Goryos. Am I just dead? Kind of just dead. Yeah, they just first strike killed the Griselbrand and I'm dead to this. Okay, wow. Sire of the 7 Deaths. Honestly, like that game is like, maybe we should play Eldrazi Tron. It's gonna be that good, that hard to beat for Goryos. Yeah, it has reach. This hand has no land, so I don't think I'm keeping. Swinging game. I really thought I was gonna win. Gonna go to 5 now. Put back Stony Silence. Probably just both Stony Silences because I have double Consign. Just play Eldrazi ramp. I mean, I think that the Tron build we play is really good. I think I am gonna consign this. We played it earlier today, and our only loss was to the mirror. Yeah, Atraxa doesn't have first strike either. How's the Gauntlet feeling now? I'm starting to narrow it down a little bit. Like I think this deck, Eldrazi Tron, some Scales variant, Boros Energy, which is boring. I'm probably not going to play Energy. I don't know. I might, but it's still in there. And then Blue Belcher, Amulet Titan, and then I'd probably do one more league off stream with Storm. I did one already. Good mold to 5. Only 2 cards off the Atraxa, but we'll take it. Scales is real. Yeah, I think Scales may just like actually be very good against Energy. Like that's like Dingo might be able to test with me tonight. And if I do that, I probably want to test that. I also really do need to go to the gym today. I agree. I don't think I could pilot as well as Corey does, but I probably have time to practice and pilot it proficiently. Alright, let's put back a Delta and plan to go blue-white into Swamp here. Emery Slagfiend. Slagfiend is pretty cool. I don't think I've ever cast it. I'd be open to. Hopefully they cast a 2-drop, I guess. So Hollow One or Jund probably. I think I graveyard that. Yeah, I am considering Energy. Energy just might be the best deck. Graveyards of Bowmasters. If this is Hollow One, which it is looking like, they do kind of have trouble with just like a gigantic Psychic Frog. So if they attack with both and have Tarfire, these are going to be 4/5s, possibly 5/6s. And this will have 2 damage on it. I think I should block and discard Atraxa at least. I think if I could discard my whole hand to save the frog, I should. I don't think I can, though. Oh, I can. Yeah, if I discard my whole hand, this frog will be a 6/7, and it'll take 4 damage. Yeah, I think this will be good. They just have a hard time against this. If they had surveilled an extra type into the yard, it would have been problemo. I'm still standing after all this damage. Yeah, I think I just pass. I don't think I'm supposed to keep that to discard. The fact that we get to eat the Channeler every time here is pretty good. Spike for weak, Belcher's the best deck in the format. Spike today, Energy might be the best. I mean, I still think Belcher's the best, but Energy might be Like teched out energy might be better. I'm just keeping my mind open. This Goryo's deck is great too, I think. Okay, so eat the Channeler. They got 4 cards in their hand. Okay, hoping for a Prismatic Ending, or a Goryo's Vengeance, or an Archaeologist, or a Tamio. A lot of good draws here. Okay, let's keep that on top. Let's leave the Frog back to block. They have a Phoenix. They bestow a Phoenix onto the Netherglaive. Right now, this is potentially 2 6/7s bouncing off of each other. And then hitting me again for 6 in the air. I think I'm going to not play around Tarfire number 2 here. Oh my gosh. Okay, I am going to play around. I didn't realize this grew the Goyf. Not sure that this is definitely worse, but we're going to need to find a Prismatic Ending or a Goryos off this Archaeologist. Okay, probably just Goryos. Game 2. So being down a game in this matchup is not ideal. It's also kind of tough to know, like, are they on Leyline of the Void, Surgical Extraction, Nile Spellbomb, or a split of these cards? They easily can be on any of these. It might just be correct to just be in on Prismatic Ending, since it can deal with all of those except for Surgical, and Surgical is just kind of tough to play around. Teferi is kind of our Surgical card, I guess. They do play Bobble, so like the first Stony is kind of okay. I think I'd like a Surgical also. Let's get in there. No more Legacy God mode. I mean, it's just that there weren't like Legacy tournaments to play today. It was just really Pioneer Standard. Decided to go with Standard today. Yeah, I don't know if there are any more LCQs at all after today. There's another one at 8 p.m. tonight, I guess. There's a modern one at 7 that I can't play in. A Legacy one at 9. Yeah, maybe I'll just stay up and double queue those tonight. No, we lost game 1. Yeah, I mean, their deck is just pretty weak to Frog on turn 2. Should we drop a snare? No, their deck is playing like maybe 12 2-drops. They're playing 4 FOMO, 4 Bowmaster, maybe 4 Goblin Lore. Fair enough. Oh my gosh, I forgot to discard the Atraxa. No! Ah! And then I burn my chin with coffee. Not too bad. The lid just like popped off there. It's really weird. Ephemerate seems really important to dig. I think I'm gonna grab that. So we're gonna get Fountain and Spell Snare. I'm a little bit worried about a second Fatal Push. I guess we could like shock Godless Shrine to have hardcast Force of Negation for that though. Okay, I'm down to 11. Okay, so now I can kind of just comfortably pending this Channeler, play tap Godless Shrine, and then Ephemerate on their instep, or probably fine to do it in response to Mire also. A Graveyard of Bauble. This is strange. Fatal Pushes stayed in. I think it's not strange. Like, their deck is very weak to Psychic Frog. In fact, there's actually a chance that they don't have Fatal Push in the main deck, and they have like 2 in the board, and they brought one or two of them in. All right, there is an Atraxa in the yard. There is a Goryo's Vengeance. Now, we have the luxury of playing around both Nile Spellbomb and Surgical Extraction. That is quite the gift that I don't plan on throwing away. They do Graveyard a Detective's Phoenix there. Now I wanted Goryo's instep so I can hit them with the Atraxa, so I didn't want to force so I could play around Surgical, and I wanted to not Goryo's in response. I guess there's like never really any reason to do that. Oh, the reason is so that they don't draw Surgical off the Goblin Lore. Okay. They probably have Fairy Macabre as Graveyard Hate. Well, I don't think I've ever really seen a Fairy Macabre in Modern, but that card is legal. That's true. Weapon of choice for standard. We're playing Squirming Emergence. Opponent has Mold to 6. Yeah, the Squirming Emergence deck is pretty cool. That's starting soon. With Stock and Living In came Stock after Outburst Ban, sure. I haven't really, I don't think I've seen them use it against me. Maybe I'm misremembering. I know that card is like super duper popular in Legacy because they do have a ley line. We do have 4 Prismatic Endings that can clean that up. We're going to need to fetch our green-blue Surveil land really proactively, so I'm just going to probably do that on turn 1 here. I kind of feel like Living into, or sorry, Goryos is just better post Grief ban. Which, like, obviously Grief Ephemerate was really good. Oh no, this thought, but like just the ability to like just play a frog is so absurd. We are gonna lose this. Okay, so my opponent's played another Goy if they have 0 cards in their hand. I'm gonna Surveil with Hedge Maze. Probably don't want that Goryos right about now. Again, getting this so we can Prismatic Ending the ley line. Okay, maybe we will need it. Maybe we can loot it away with Kiora. They top the Surveil. Okay, cool. Did forget that. FOMO would be so bad for us. Them thought seizing that frog was tough. They did mulligan pretty low. This is a great mulligan 5. Okay, so we found our Prismatic Ending. I would, again, really ideally like to Prismatic Ending the ley line if possible. If I try the Storm Chasers talent deck, combo deck that could win easily via Prowess Otters. Yeah, I played a little bit of it. Wait, they kept land on top? Probably wasn't right. I don't think we have the luxury of really waiting on the Kiora so much. I'm going to discard Surgical, Spell Snare. They did not survive. Okay, cool. I guess it's hard to keep track with the whole like internet crashing and stuff. And thanks everybody for sticking around post crash. 10 minutes till the standard last chance. My opponent drew a Tarfire, which is insane. They get Delirium, and my Tamia dies. And they keep a card on top. They did keep a card on top, so more bad news there. Well, I do no longer have the luxury of trying to Prismatic Ending the ley line this turn. I bricked on the Archaeologist. So I suppose I'm going to Prismatic Ending the Channeler with the intention of blocking the Nethergoyf and Ephemerating my Archaeologist. 4 years from Toborg. Let's go. Happy anniversary. Surgical for 1 less damage. Yeah, if we kept the surgical here, it would have been potentially better, but I don't know if I'm like that interested in like losing a card and 2 life for 1 less damage. So another Ephemerate. I may end up hardcasting this Atraxa, so that may just end up being my plan. They did keep a card on top. That card is another Nethergoyf, so we need like a Prismatic Ending. In the next force, we can pending 1, then block an Ephemerate the second, potentially. I don't think I brought in any Wrath Disguise. That would have been pretty nice here, though. Life is pretty low to hardcast Atraxa. I mean, you're not wrong. I think that's a good reason to not fetch Shock for this Ephemerate also. Just like chump with the Kiora this turn, the next turn block Ephemerate, and hope to like, you know, maybe surveil into some juice here too. I just don't think we're winning this game out if we're, you know, by not hardcasting this Atraxa. I guess maybe if we like surveil into a Solitude. Oh. Uh-oh. Am I really out of fetchables? Looks like I still have Island in my deck. In the yard, I see a Hallowed Fountain and a Swamp. Where's my... Oh, there's also the Meticulous Archive. Okay. Yeah, I guess we do just draw 3. Do you know some good human streamer? Do you play humans sometimes? We have played humans on the channel. Humans is not a very good archetype, though. Not these days. Has not been in a long time. Like, there was some, like, pre-Image 3, you could 3-2 a league with humans sometimes, but I would recommend abandoning the humans archetype. Okay, things are going pretty well for how bad they've been going the last couple turns. My opponent's been drawing lands. I've been drawing very well, despite me being unable to hardcast Atraxa. They're casting another Leyline? A Street Wraith. Well, I'm going to need a Solitude to deal with the Street Wraith, I suppose. Let's fucking go, dude. What's it, champs? It's isn't that what the... I'm not changing it if I'm wrong, but isn't that the name of the modern tournament series? Like the second level of the mocks? I know everybody just calls it the mocks, but I think Modern Championship Series sounds better. Okay. FOMO, good top deck. They get to draw a card. Cycle's a hollow one. Thoughtseize. I think I'm just not discarding anything yet. I'm only playing 2 Solitudes. Bolt no longer now. I mean, I don't think they really play Bolt. Blood Moon's an interesting draw, although I think they're pretty toasted still. I'm just gonna discard all of these and have the Ephemerate up. One of both seems practical. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Oh, I guess I could discard my last card and win the game. Okay, that's nice. I mean, I really like the Hollow One build that was playing Flage and for Arena of Glory also. Like, maybe I need to test that one too. Okay, so our 4-0, we already have a trophy prediction for this. We also have, and this has been a pretty soft league, if I'm going to be honest, for whatever that's worth.